Casio W96H, as it says right there on the back. Let's set this up. The first thing I will show is the test screen, which can be done by holding this, this, and this, like so. And you go between each screen by pressing the bottom left. There's this screen, which shows most of what can be shown on the display. This is the module revision, and this one, you see everything that can be displayed on the W96H. Press it again, you get this. I don't know what this is, but whatever. And then you press again and you get back to the main timekeeping screen. Now, before setting the time, what you can do from here, this switches from 12 to 24 hours, as you can see, 12:24 there, like that. And this top right is just the light. It's 1.5 seconds and it's green. At night, you can really easily see. It comes from the bottom left of the display, but you can really read this very easily at night. Not a problem. It is not electroluminescent, it's just incandescent, but still works great. And I think that's all you can do from here. So, setting the time, you press and hold the top left. You press and hold for, I think it's 1.5 seconds, about. And you switch between where you want to be with the bottom left, and you set with the bottom right. So this one sets the seconds. If I press this while it's from 0 to 30 seconds, it will reset the seconds to 0. If the seconds are from 30 to 59, it will advance the minute by 1 and reset the seconds to 0. And then we press mode to go to hour, and you adjust with this. You press mode to go to minute after that, and adjust with this. You press mode to go to year. This has an auto calendar in it, so it's 2019 as I record this, so it's 2019. It will support years up to 2099. You press, and you should have the correct year, and I'll explain why in a moment. So we press mode to go to month. To answer a question up front, some people would have, this shows the date in month day display. Can you change it to day month? No, you cannot. This is meant for North American markets, so it only has the month day display. So anyway, we adjust the month from 1 to 12 by pressing this, and then press mode to go to day, adjust the day by pressing this, and then back to second, and then we exit by pressing top left. Now, you'll notice some people will say, well, how come I can't adjust the day? Well, you don't have to, because this has an auto calendar in it, which means as long as you have the correct month, day, and year, this will be the correct day of the week. And let's move on to the next screen, which is alarm. Now, you have two areas of this. You have this and this. This is the alarm setting. This is the hourly chime setting. I'll do this one first. When it shows a 00, that means, do you want to hear a double beep at the top of every hour or not? And whether it's enabled or not is if you look at the top left, you see snooze alarm and SIG, which means signal, meaning hourly signal. It's normally like this. If you press the top left, it will enable that little block, and that means you will hear 2 beeps at the top of every hour. Press it again, and it won't do it. Simple enough. Then we change to the actual alarm by pressing bottom right. And now ordinarily, if you just momentarily press this, this will enable or disable the alarm and snooze. It's ordinarily like this. If you press it once, the alarm is enabled. If you press it again, the alarm is enabled and snooze is enabled, which means you can disable, when the alarm goes off, sounds, you say, okay, stop sounding, but then it will, I think it will come on again after 5 minutes and do that like 6 or 8 times before it stops. I don't use it. I just have it like this, just the alarm and only the alarm. The manual goes into more detail about how to use snooze. I don't think anyone has ever used the snooze feature on this, but it's there if you want it. Now, to actually set the alarm, instead of a momentary press on this, you have to press and hold like that. So we start with the hour, which can be adjusted with this. Then you press mode to go to minute, which can be adjusted with this. And then you press mode again to go here. Now, what this is that this is month and day. This one only goes up to 12 and recycles because it's 12 months of the year. So if I have it set to 2, if it's 2 and then hyphens, this means it is a, I think, yeah, it is a, this will make sure, this will, can't talk, sorry. This means that the alarm will sound for every day in February. If I have it set to, like, just say the 7th, February 7, this means it is now an annual alarm, meaning it will sound at 8 p.m. on February the 7th. If I have it, if I go back to month, oops, let me go back again, and I set this one to hyphen, this means the alarm is a monthly alarm. It will only sound on the 7th at 8 p.m. of every month. And if you have it set to all hyphens, so let me just get it back there. Now it is a daily alarm, and this is what most people use it for, and it will sound at 8 p.m. daily. And then if you press mode again, it goes back to the hour, and you press this momentarily to exit, and now I can exit this screen. Stopwatch, you start by pressing bottom right, stop by pressing bottom right again, reset by pressing top left. To do a lap time, you start, or a split time as this watch calls it. So if you're going to do a split time, that's this up here, and you'll watch the top left of the display, it says SPL, which means split. The double dot is still blinking, meaning the stopwatch is actually still running. So if I press, you write down your lap time at 9 seconds and 10/100ths of a second, and then you press this again, and you'll notice that the stopwatch is still running. If you want to do first and second runner finishes, that is done by using this and then this. So we'll say the first runner is about to cross the finish line and does right now. Split time, okay, so 40 seconds and 66/100ths of a second. And here comes the second runner, and now we use this button, and does. So we have the first runner at 40 seconds and 66/100ths of a second, and then if you press this now, you'll notice that the double dot is not blinking. The stopwatch is stopped. The second runner crossed at 50 seconds and 14/100ths of a second. That's how you do it. And then press it again to reset. Next screen is DT dual time. Now you can, I have it set to the same time as the home time, so, but you can have it set to whatever you want, at whatever offset you want. You adjust it by pressing and holding adjust. You can adjust the hour and then adjust with this. Press mode, go to minute, and adjust with this. You cannot adjust the second. That is always synchronized with the home time, but you can adjust the hour and the minute, and when you're done, press this again, and then press mode to go back to the home screen. I'm going to address now just a few little quirks to do with this watch, and I will also use the AE 1200 as the comparison. Now, the number one reason, other than price, because this is pretty cheap, although this is about, the AE 1200 is about the same price. Okay, so we're examining legibility here. If I look at both of them, so this is one of the most legible watches you can buy for a Casio because it has an uncluttered display and it shows you everything you need to know at a glance. You get to see weekday, hour, minute, year, month, day, all in one shot. Now this one almost shows all that. The only thing it does not show is the year, but most people don't care about that. So you'll notice it shows weekday, month, day, hour, minute, second, but no year. And that's okay, because, I mean, if you don't know what year it is, well, Now, as far as the A1200 is concerned, yes, it does have a better backlight, and you can set it to go for 3 seconds instead of, or 1.5 second, whereas the W96 is shorter. It is true that you can actually change the strap on this one. You notice that this has actual spring bars, whereas, and this is the biggest complaint about the W96, is that it's proprietary. You'll notice that it's a screw-in strap. You can't really replace a strap on this at all with a aftermarket. You will have to buy another W96 basically if your strap breaks. Whereas on A1200, again, you can see the spring bars there. Let me just bring it in close so you can really see it. Yeah. Those little metal things right there, those are the bars. They are not held in by the screws, which is a good thing. And technically, the AE1200 does have better water resistance. It shows WR100, water resist 100 meter, whereas this one, as it shows right on the bottom, is a 50 meter water resist. But now if we look at this and say, okay, well, all right, why would I want to get one of these? Well, there are a couple of advantages to this one. First of all, for the skinny wristed such as myself, this actually does fit a little better. It's a little thinner. The strap does have one big advantage to it. I'll show it right here. See that little lip? What that does is that when it's through and you have, let me get this out. There we go. When this actually goes through, this will actually catch on the end when it's on your wrist like that. Whereas the AE1200, while it does have indentations on the back of the strap, it doesn't have that on the top. So for some who wear this watch, the strap may come out of the strap keeper, whereas this one, it will never fall out of the strap keeper. It will always work and always stay put. And this is actually slightly lighter in weight compared to the AE12. And here's another thing about the W96, which is actually a very, very cool thing. When you are setting your alarm, you'll notice the time stays there. That's actually a lot more convenient than most people realize. So when you're setting the alarm, you can actually see, oh, what time is it currently? You don't have to go back a screen, it's right there. The same thing with the stopwatch. While running the stopwatch, the time is always there, which is great. Dual time, you can actually see both times at the same time. Again, wonderful. And that also works when you have it in 24-hour mode. So when setting this, you'll see the time at the bottom. Stopwatch, you'll see the time at the bottom. Dual time, you'll see the time at both times at the same time. That's actually nice. And also another really big advantage of this is that the day of the weekday is huge. That's great, because more often than not, some people just like, oh, I don't know, what day is it? You get it real fast on this. Whereas on the AE12, it's there, but it's small. Now, of course, it's on video, so you're seeing it real close up. But when this is on your wrist, this is actually really tiny. Well, not super, super tiny, but enough to where it would, if this thing would ever focus, enough to where it would actually legitimately bother you. Whereas with this one, never a bother. You can really see this easy. That, right, you know, it makes it's as far as like a tool watch is concerned, a daily wear, this is damned convenient. This is, as far as a big display goes, this is as good as it gets. Also, this watch is probably the most friendly for those of that want a large display but have smaller wrists, such as yours truly. And you'll notice that in the strap, it goes all the way up. Now, this one has that too, kind of, sort of, if you look at them side by side. So you'll notice that while this one has a little more strap to it, this one, in the way that it curves and it goes all the way up here, this will fit even the smallest of wrists. Now I don't have a super tiny wrist, but small wrist for a dude. So it's like about 6.6 inch, 6.7, something like that. Average male wrist size is like 7 inch and mine's 6.7, 6.6. This fits great and holds better than this one does. While this case size, which by the way is about 41 across by 42 tall, this one actually does fit better compared to the AE12. Just to give you a basic comparison, so if you're thinking about getting one of these and saying, well, you know, I know the AE1200 has more features, technically it has a countdown timer, whereas this one does not. But this one gives you more information on the display, and it is completely uncluttered. Whereas this one has ladder bars all in this thing, it's a cluttered display. Whereas this one, there's no ladder bars anywhere. It's just a completely clean, uncluttered display. And while the night light isn't quite as nice as this one, because this is a dual bulb, it has two bulbs. This is a single bulb. But again, can you read it at night? Yeah, and that's kind of the whole point. You can see it. Again, it is not electroluminescent, which some people mistakenly call Indiglo. That's a Timex thing. That's not a Casio thing. Casio calls their EL electroluminescent. So anyway, point is, works. And definitely the best big uncluttered display without having a huge case that Casio makes. So that are all the reasons why you should get a W96, and that's why I got mine. On a final note, you'll notice that there are two versions of this. This is the one W96H1BV, as in Bravo Victor, and what that means is that this has a charcoal colored case. You'll see other ones that have a silver case with a black strap. It's the exact same thing as this, just in a different color. So if you see the W96H and then the W96H1BV, the BV is this one. Yeah, and that's it. So there you go, people. That's everything you ever wanted to know about a W96H by Casio.